Hey y'all, I'm sharing today 3 great poses for releasing the low back. What you'll need are at least 2 yoga blankets or thick blankets or towels, possibly 2 blocks, and a yoga belt. If you don't have a yoga belt, you can use a necktie or a pants belt, and a folding chair. If you don't have a folding chair, you can use the edge of a couch, or you may be able to find a chair that's similar to that size. If you have herniation, get yourself at least 2 hand towels, and what you'll do is roll them up and put that at your lumbar when you're laying on your back. So make sure it's on your low back, not behind your back of your pelvis. For scoliosis, what you'll do is take a hand towel, fold it into a square, and then fold it again into a triangle. And the point of the triangle will go in towards your curve, and you'll put it under your concavity side. If you don't know what your curves and concavities are, that's okay. I teach that later in my courses or in my classes, so you can feel free to reach out to me and I'll support you in that. I'm folding my blankets in half the short way, and then in half again, so that makes a big bubble. And if that's not high enough, you're going to put a block or an extra blanket under it so that it will support your legs in a moment. So I'm doing that on my 2 blankets. And then I start with my booty close to the wall so that when I start to roll onto the side of my body, I don't have to round my back when I come down. And rounding your back can aggravate a lot of back conditions. Okay? Then you'll take your feet together. Let your legs rest on the blankets. You can turn them a little bit diagonally so that it supports your femur on a diagonal. And you'll be here for at least 10 breaths. If you have space to give yourself at least 10 minutes, please do that. After your 10 breaths or chosen amount of time, reach your arms up alongside your ears. And if your hands don't touch the ground comfortably, you can put your hands up on top of the chair. Now, for those of you with scoliosis, you can take your pad, point of the triangle in towards the curve, put the pad under your concavity side. And later in my courses, after people have been working with me for a while, we might pad the opposite side, the curve side, but that's a whole different reasoning. For now, you're just sensing and feeling your concavity side and bringing awareness there. Then you'll reach your arms up again, and then take your hands to the crease of your thigh where your thigh meets your hip. Press your fingers towards the groins, thumbs towards the outer hips, and you may be able to see this. I'm going to scooch my rib cage back a little bit to give myself a mild lumbar traction. Active arms. And then you can do that again. Reach your arms up, relax the front low ribs down. And when you're ready, press the hip crease away from your rib cage, mild self-traction. And if this is new to you, a lot of the language I'm using takes a little time before it clicks in your body, so it's totally natural if you're like, what is she talking about? Eventually, with repetition, things will change. Okay, to come out, take your hands outside your thighs. Use the strength of your arms to bring your knees together. And then you're just going to scooch using your elbows. So here's where, if you have herniation, you're going to do your lumbar roll. If you have scoliosis, you don't have to pad for this one. But I'm really actively pressing my feet into the wall, heels on the wall. So if you're here and you don't feel your heels on the wall, just scooch in a little closer. Bend your knees a little and get your heels on first before you straighten your legs. Then you'll just be here and breathe and release. If you're adding, this is a great one for releasing the low back. It's also really great for sciatica. And you don't need to straighten your leg. It's okay for it to be bent, but you want your femur bone, your thigh bone, perpendicular to the floor, whether it's bent or straight. You're not pulling your leg towards your face, even if you can. In fact, it's the opposite. Press your inner thigh away from your face. And the foot that's at the wall, you're pressing that foot through the wall. The foot that's to the sky, press the ball of your foot up for a few breaths. And then shimmy your belt to your heel. If you hyperextend your knees, soften the back of the knee, hollow the back of the knee, and then go back to ball of foot. When you're ready, release, and then switch sides. The third one I want to share with you is a really great resting pose. It's called Chair Shavasana. If you have herniation, roll up your lumbar roll. And if you have a belt, a yoga belt, you can just make a loop that's about shoulder distance. I don't want to start all the way out here. I want to scooch much closer so my hips are almost touching my chair, so that when I roll to my side and lay on my back, I don't have to scooch very far to get my knee crease to touch the chair edge. So if you have herniation, now you're going to lift your hips, put the lumbar roll under your lumbar. If you have scoliosis, you'll just lightly pad your concavity side if you know where that is. And you're not trying to push that side up to the ceiling, you're just trying to see if you can sense the pad lightly and start to release and breathe into that place. If you have a belt, belt your thigh, and then just let your palms face up in a gesture of letting go. If you find that your chin is high up, put a blanket or two under your head and neck and let your chin be in a little bit. This will help to stimulate that rest and digest response. Give yourself at least 10 breaths here before you completely let go, and stay for at least 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Give yourself the gift of rest.